Okay, basically, it's not really a tutorial. I was just showing a piece that I did that people were like, "Oh, that's not real. You just found a background environment on the internet or whatever, and made it look like that or whatever." But actually, I'm going to show that I used Maya in Photoshop and I created it. And basically, I had this, I had the standard white background Photoshop layer. I went and I put myself like a nice, come on, green layer to work with. You can see a lot of stuff on it that's missing in your masks and all. So basically, I ended up putting together the same image of clouds, and I clone them together a little, and you can see how they're just kind of put in there. But that bottom part's going to be hid. Um, I put some mountains that are going to be a little further away in the distance on the left side. I put some on the right side that are a little bit closer and a little more saturated. They need a little bit of atmospheric perspective so that they looked a little fogged out from being in the distance. So I put that in. Um, I have my main ground layer, which was basically the desert, and I used masks. As you can see, I used a ton of masks here just to blend that in all along the ridge there. Um, then I laid down a road, the tarmac or whatever that the car is going to be on. Then I added down the same road, but with motion blur. I don't know how well it'll show up in the foreground, but not further back. It's just motion blur in the first section of the image here where the camera shadow would be. I laid down the shadow to the car. Then I laid down the actual car with its shadow. Then I added down a motion blur layer for the wheels and the front skirt of the car. I added down a radial blur to help out with the motion blur on the wheels. It wasn't showing up that great right then. Now it shows up a little better. I added reflections of the clouds on the windshield and the roof. Cloud reflections on the hood of the vehicle. Reflections of the clouds and the desert in the side window. Reflections on the front quarter panel of the vehicle, of the little brush and bushes here. And then finally I added out of Maya an occlusion pass, an ambient occlusion, which basically just gives it realistic lighting and shadows and darkness. And basically that is how I formed that final image.